E.N.D here, day 7 for the spoilers of Wilds of Eldraine. Just a couple of days and this enchanted set will be fully spoiled. Anyway, let's start. And I want to start with a classic, a Counterspell, spell stutter for 1 and 1 blue, instant, counter target spell unless its controller pays 2, plus an additional 1 for each fairy you control. Let's see if this will replace Make Disappear. Snare Master Sprite for 1 blue, it's a 1/1 with flying. Enters the battlefield, you may pay 2. When you do, tap target creature and opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Aquatic Alchemist for 1 and 1 blue, it's a 1/3 with adventure. Bubble Up for 2 and 1 blue. Sorcery. Put target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Barrow Naughty for 1 and 1 black, it's a 1/3 with flying. Has lifelink as long as you control another fairy. For 2 and 1 black, gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Unruly Catapult for 2 and 1 red, it's a 0/4 with defender. Tap, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, untap it. Ginger Brute, yes, the reprint of Ginger Brute from Throne of Eldraine. For 1 generic mana, it's a 1/1 with haste. For 1, can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste. 2, tap, sacrifice it, you gain 3 life. Cheeky House Mouse for 1 white, it's a 2/1 with adventure. Squeak By for 1 white, sorcery. Target creature you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. It can be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater this turn. It's a 2/1. I didn't know that Savannah Lion was transformed into a nice cute mouse. Picklock Prankster for 1 and 1 blue, it's a 1/3 with adventure. Free the Fae for 1 and 1 blue, instant. Mill for cards, then put an instant sorcery or Fae card from among the milled cards into your hand. Flying and vigilance. Succumb to the Cold for 2 and 1 blue, instant. Tap 1 or 2 creatures and opponent controls, put a stun counter on each of them. Spellscorn Cavern for 3 and 1 black, it's a 2/3 with adventure. Take it back for 2 and 1 blue, instant. Return target spell to its owner's hand. Flying. Enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. Heart Elemental 5 and 1 red, it's a 4/5 with adventure. Stoke Genius for 1 and 1 red, sorcery. Discard your hand, then draw 2 cards. The spell costs X less to cast, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard that are instant, sorcery cards and or have an adventure. Welcome to Sweet Tooth for 1 and 1 green Enchantment Saga. Chapter 1, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Chapter 2, create a food token. Chapter 3, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is 1 plus the number of foods you control. Red Tooth Vanguard for 1 and 1 green, it's a 3/1 with trample. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2. If you do, return it from your graveyard to your hand. Collector's Vault for 2 generic mana artifact. 2 generic mana, tap, draw a card, then discard a card. Create a treasure token. This card will be very powerful in limited. Ariet's Tempting Apple, 4 generic mana, legendary artifact, food. Enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. For 2, tap, sacrifice it, you gain 3 life. 2, tap, sacrifice it, target opponent loses 3 life. Rare cards. Sleep Curse Fairy for 1 blue, it's a 3/3 with flying war 2. Enters the battlefield tapped with 3 stun counters on it. For 1 and 1 blue, untap it. Elusive Otter for 1 blue, it's a 1/1 with adventure. Groove's Bounty for X and 1 green. Sorcery. Distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. Prowess. Creatures with power less than it can't block it. Fairy Slumber Party 4 and 2 blue, sorcery. Return all creatures to their owner's hands. For each opponent who controlled a creature returned this way, you create 2 1/1 blue fairy creature tokens with flying, and this creature can block only creatures with flying. This spell can be very useful in multiplayer commander games. Enchanting Tales, a collection of the most powerful enchantments in Magic the Gathering. Vampiric Rites, Leyline of Abundance, Leyline of Anticipation, and Blind Obedience. So that was the last card in this particular day 7 of the spoilers of Wilds of Eldraine. Join me again tomorrow for the penultimate day of the spoilers of this enchanted set. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.